Congratulations, you made it to week 6, and think about what an incredible journey it's been. I'm going to go through a recap of everything that we've learned over these past 6 weeks, and then I'm going to walk you through a potential day of what things might look like as you put this into practice more and more in your life. At the end of this video, there's going to be a special surprise because you've done so well in this program. We've learned a lot already in these past 5 weeks. We started out with mindfulness, where you started to understand the 4 pillars of mindfulness, as well as a challenge to see just how mindful you were. And I wonder, have you gone back to try that challenge yet again? If you haven't, I highly recommend that you do, because you might be shocked by how different that 100 conscious breaths and that 5 minutes of narrowed focus is for you. In week 2, we talked about meditation. You set up a 10-minute meditation practice, and you may have even decided to take on the 6-month meditation challenge. In week 3, we talked about brain training. I taught you how to get into flow state instantaneously and techniques that help you to be more efficient with your productivity, using things like the Pomodoro technique, narrowing your focus, or getting into a diffused focus, ultimately learning how to reprogram your brain for success. In week 4, we discussed breath work. I started to teach you how to release your diaphragm and your iliocostals, as well as your vagus nerve, to create better breath capacity. We talked about a ton of different breathing exercises, one that amplifies you, and many others that can down-regulate your nervous system, putting you in a calm, cool, and relaxed state in the matter of just seconds. And in week 5, we talked about somatic awareness. I gave you a ton of different techniques that help you get more consciously aware of what's happening in your body, including the body scan, learning how to shake out your nervous system to recalibrate and reset it after stressful situations, a sequence of fascial maneuvers to prevent injury and recondition your fascia so that you can enjoy your workday. Now, looking at the list of everything that you've learned, you might be thinking, that's a lot to remember. Let me ease your worries by saying, it's actually not. I want to walk you through an example of a day just to show you how easy it would be to start to incorporate these different tools that you've learned into your day. And by the end of this video, I guarantee that you're going to feel a lot more at ease with everything that you've learned, knowing that you can put it into practice over the next coming weeks, next coming months, and the rest of your life, so that you can really see success in these things. Practice makes perfect, and there's no time to practice like the present moment. So after you wake up in the morning and, get yourself ready for the day, you sit down in that special place that you've created with that beautiful scent, and you ring that bell as you set that timer for a 10-minute meditation. When you finally get out of that 10-minute meditation, you've already set your intention for the day. And as you've set that intention for the day, you've found that feeling that you really want, that feeling of completion, which allows you to more easily get into flow as you go throughout your day. Maybe after that, you take 5 minutes and you just do a little bit of breath work. You amp yourself up, and then you start down regulating yourself, just so that you're teaching your brain each and every day for as simple of an amount of time as just 5 minutes, that when stressful situations pop up, all you have to do is just breathe, and you'll be able to handle whatever situation life throws at you in a calm, cool, and collected manner. And so now that you're done with your meditation and your breath work, you get ready for the day and you go to work. You arrive at work and you're noticing out of nowhere that you're just feeling much more present, much more mindful, much more grateful of all of the people and all of the things around you. And people start taking notice. They start looking at you like, wow, you're chipper today. And you say, yeah, I don't know. I guess I just am. But you know deep down inside exactly why. Because you've started to master mindfulness. You realize how wonderful of a gift the present moment actually is. And so you set down for work for the day, and you start your 25-minute Pomodoro timer. And you work for those 25 minutes, and you start noticing that at a certain point, maybe there's a little bit of distraction that comes up, but you can zero your mind in, and it doesn't really bother you, because you know that at the end of that 25 minutes, you have a 5-minute break. And so finally that timer rings, and you felt really good about how much work you've knocked out in just that 25 minutes. You're even thinking to yourself at that point, wow, I am so much more productive now than I was even just 6 weeks ago, because now you are training your brain to use your time efficiently. And so you end up getting to the end of that 25 minutes and you're like, I could go more, but you know that it's that easy to get back into that flow state. And so you take your 5-minute break. Perhaps you do about 2 minutes of heart rate variability breathing as you just down regulate your nervous system and get more oxygen in. And then you stand up and you walk around. Maybe you even do a fascial maneuver if you're really feeling fancy. And then you go back in for that next 25 minutes. And during that 25 minutes, there's a big problem that pops up. Your brain goes back to that feeling of wanting to distract itself. You realize that it's just your brain feeling stressed. And so you take a moment and you take a couple of deep breaths, and then you're ready to start again. You narrow yourself into that one pointed focus, solely focusing on that problem at hand. And by the end of that 25 minutes, you have it pretty much solved. And so you take your next 5-minute break. But that's when you're called into an emergency meeting. everybody is super, super stressed because there's a really, really big problem going on and nobody knows how to fix it. And everybody becomes very reactionary. You start noticing this, and it's very odd because normally you would be a part of it as well, but instead you're just observing it. You're observing it with a state of compassion, with this state of acceptance, realizing that you don't have to be a part of it, that you can do something different. And so in that moment, you do a little bit of breathing, nice and simple heart rate variability breathing to bring yourself back down into a calm and relaxed state, because you know the difference between when you are stressed and when you are relaxed. And you start realizing that the problem is that everybody's looking at it in this one particular direction. Everybody's reactionary and they're only focusing on this one piece. They've narrowed their focus in, and the tunnel vision is so intense that they can't see anything else. And so in that moment, instead of falling into that, you diffuse your focus. You open up your awareness to all of the different possibilities, and you watch all of the things in your mind start flying by until you find one. You find one that might actually work. And so you use your mind, you use your brain training to zero in on that until you only see that and everything else gets pushed away. And then, aha, that's it. And so in a very calm and relaxed manner, you provide that insight to the rest of the team, hoping that it might help to be able to fix the issue. And the team initially is very interested in it, and they toss it over for a moment, and then they just simply say, no, I don't think that's the right thing. It's definitely not the right thing. And in the past, you would have been so upset because you would put so much effort into this, but now you almost feel this state of non-attachment. You realize the goal is not for you to take all of the praise or all of the claim or all of the validation for fixing it. The goal is simply just to fix it. And so out of nowhere, you start recognizing that even though you were completely shot down, it doesn't matter. You don't feel the way that you used to feel because now you're starting to recognize how much your progress has changed you as a person. And in that moment, you almost kind of chuckle to yourself a bit, recognizing how simple it all was. How putting in just these small little techniques and tools day after day completely reshaped how you interact in your work environment, how you interact in your personal environment. By the end of the day, you finally found a solution to that problem, and everybody else is put totally at ease and they feel like they can breathe again. But here's the secret. You've been breathing the entire time. And so it doesn't really change anything for you. You go back to your Pomodoro work, you end up finishing for the day, and you leave and you go home. And the moment that you leave work, you're able to separate and you just leave work behind, and you go back home and you start recognizing how good it feels to be able to just leave work at work. And so as you finally drive yourself home, you arrive home and you realize that your body's a little bit tight and stiff. So you go through the fascial sequence and you open everything up. And then maybe after that, you just drop into a light state of meditation and go through a progressive relaxation, relaxing each one of the areas of your body, letting go of any of that excess stress or tension from work so that you can prepare your body to be ready to relax for the rest of the night. And then it's time to relax. You do the things that you really enjoy doing, that reinvigorate you, that revitalize you in preparation for the next day of work. And then when it's time for bed, you just do a simple 3 to 5 minutes of breath work before bed. Perhaps it's coherent breathing, allowing you to start to get to a place where you're balancing out and smoothing out that breath in and out. And it starts to make you feel so relaxed that you're just ready to go to bed. And so when you're done with that breath work, you just gently find yourself in bed, and before you know it, you're asleep and the day is done. If that seems too good to be true, you're right, it is. It's a perfect narrative, and we're not perfect narratives. We're human beings, which means we are going to make mistakes. But what I want you to notice about that story is it's a potential. It's a potential of a life that you could start moving towards more and more every single day if you take what you've learned here and really put it into practice. The more that you use them, the more that you'll know when to use them. And I'm confident, because of the changes that you've seen already, that you will continue with this practice. If you are in a place where you want more assistance, where you want some accountability, then join the accountability group as part of our community. That way we can support you even after this course, because we're in this together as people who are interested in being better versions of themselves. And so I'm happy to support you on that journey. I promised you a special bonus. If you've gone this far and you've seen the benefits that even just a couple of short minutes of these practices could do a day, what would it be like to really learn how to reprogram your subconscious mind and rewire yourself at the deepest levels of your identity? Any situation that happened in your life in the past could be rewritten. How different could your life be? What you've learned here in this 6 weeks is just the tip of the iceberg of what I could teach you about how to reprogram and rewire your behaviors and your habits. If you're ready to continue that journey, I want to invite you into my introductory program. We'll jump onto a 1-hour call where I'm actually going to teach you live the different tools and techniques that I use with clients every single day to help them reprogram their subconscious mind. I'll also be giving you a bunch of free additional resources, including an entire course I put together on stress management, access to an ongoing fascia library. I'm a huge book nerd, so you'll also receive a recommended reading list that includes books on meditation, psychology, how to heal trauma from your past, and even a little bit of philosophy. And if that wasn't enough, after you're done with that call, you'll also get access to a 20-minute accountability call. This call is really designed to help you integrate everything that you learned in that 1-hour session. And because you have been so diligent at going through this course, putting everything that you learned into practice, I want to give you something special. I want to give you 50% off of my introductory program. It's normally $199, but I want to give it to you today for just $99. For less than $100, you'll receive a customized session, exercises that are specific to your needs that'll help you to overcome the challenges and obstacles that you're facing. If you're ready to learn how to reprogram your subconscious mind, start shaping your reality to have more fun, more joy, and more purpose than it ever has before. Sign up for the introductory program below this video, and I can't wait to meet you face to face. That's it for this course. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to become more mindful in your everyday experience. I've certainly enjoyed guiding you through this process. And if you want to stay up to date with all the new things that I'm doing, make sure that you follow me on social media and stay part of this community. I'm sure we'll see each other again soon. Till then, remember, the most precious moment that you have is this moment right here, right now. See you next time.